Let's get this adjusted here. Thought I was further back than I was. Okay, there we go. All right. We'll wait a couple minutes and let a few more get in here. Hey, my Silver Journey. Hi. Figured I'd do it early today because I don't want to miss you guys later on tonight. Chew, how's it going? Christina's in the house. I'm in the car stall listening. I will be home shortly. Okay, hey, 2 hands on the wheel. Oh, goodness. All right, let's see here. We're coming up on the 2-minute mark, so I'm going to get started. Hope everybody's had a great weekend so far. Been a pretty Kevin Hawthorne. Good afternoon. It's been it was a pretty busy week. I'm enjoying my 2 days off. Uh, you know, chaos is what it is. When you work for a healthcare system. So, I do want to mention, because I know a lot of my followers know that I was previously in law enforcement. Send up some prayers when you get a second. Michigan State Police lost a motor carrier officer. I did a community post about it, and there's a picture of the accident scene in the community post. We don't, the story hasn't come out yet about, what happened with the driver that caused the accident. Driver that caused the accident was dead on arrival at the hospital. Danny was transported to a level 1 trauma center in Detroit, and things at first were looking up. He was talking to the medics. He was talking to the troopers and the other motor carrier officers that arrived on scene. Was talking to the medics, was talking to staff at the hospital, and they rushed him there Friday. And he passed away sometime this morning. So let's say a little prayer for our men and women of Michigan State Police and his family. He does have at least 3 kids that you've seen in the pictures, and is married. Let's say some prayers and wrap our love around his family and his MSP family. Okay, sad stuff's over with. I sent out a ton of mail on Friday, so you guys should. A good number of you should be expecting some mail here, hopefully sooner rather than later. The Postal Service continues to disappoint when it comes to getting stuff places, and I've got one follower that their package has been sitting at the post office for days, but the post office doesn't know what they're talking about. So, and there's other times where stuff is taking 2 to 3 weeks to go to the next state over. So there is stuff coming. If you'd like stickers or chips, you can shoot me off an email. It's in my channel description, and It's very simple. It's MichiStacker@gmail.com. Transient Stacker, welcome. And I'll get those out to you. So I was feeling a little, Michiganian American, proud American here today when I set up my backdrop. There's a video coming out tomorrow about my Michigan stuff. And, just wanted to reach out to everybody and, check in and make sure everybody's doing good. And I put my poker chip family off to the side, gave them a break, gave them the day off. The poker chip stack's growing too. So I'm going to be issuing a challenge. I got a lot of challenges going on right now. I'm going to issue a challenge out, but I'm going to do it more, I'm going to say probably second half of November. Just something fun. I mean, not going to be any winners or losers, just, having a little fun. I'll get into more details on that in the future here. And I want to send a shout out to all of you. My subscribers that have been here everywhere from the first couple of days right up to now. I never expected to be up where I'm at, and I'm still climbing a couple at a time, every day, every other day. And I just, want to tell you I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate the comments. Even if you don't agree with something I say, fire off the comment, because you know what? It's a free country. It takes a lot to hurt my feelings, and we have the right to have differing opinions about things. I happen to like fractional silver. Some people don't. There are a lot of people don't. My favorite fractional, yes, is constitutional silver. But it's every once in a while I find a little, I call them baby bars or baby rounds that I think they look cool, so I grab one. Silver Stallion, welcome. Some people, there's people on YouTube that talk about they hate constitutional silver. I love it. You do have to take into account that your constitutional silver is older. Some of it's going to be worn down unless somebody got it directly from the bank back then and stuck it in a safe place and didn't touch it. But and I'm big on and yeah, I do spend a little extra money every once in a while, but I try to keep it to stacking on a budget, because the world we live in right now. I just went to Aldi today, and we're talking darn near $70, and I walked out of there with 3 bags of groceries, and not the big reusable bags that you buy from them either. I mean, these were like regular grocery store size bags. So we've got to spend our money elsewhere right now just to keep our bellies full, and the price of everything, utilities, rent, mortgage payments, everything's gone up, and we don't have as much play money as we used to. So, and as far as I'm concerned, and I know some others too, are that your fractional silver is like the best, or I'm sorry, your constitutional silver is like the best fractional around. And it adds up, even if you're just buying a couple of silver quarters or a couple of pre-65 half dollars or mercury dimes, pre-65 most Mexicans. Oh, I hear you, Silver Stein. And the thing is, I didn't get anything fancy. I just the basics, milk bread, eggs, some meat and cheese to go between slices of bread. Hey, Stack That Gold, welcome. Some lunch meat and cheese to throw between bread for my lunches at work this week. Oh, and a gallon of milk. But it's suddenly eggs are going up again. I mean, usually Aldi's pretty good on their prices. Heck, a dozen eggs at Aldi right now, at least at ours, is $3.69 a dozen. and they're not even lined with gold. Yeah. But yeah, it's everything's sky high, and I not trying to I'm not plugging one candidate over another, but when you have a commercial on TV where one of the candidates says that this is Bidenomics, we're proud of Bidenomics is working. Well, I don't know who it's working for. It's not working for the middle class, and that or even the people that are, and I don't like using the term lower class because it makes it sound like somebody's better than the other. The people on limited incomes, what are our older people doing that are on Social Security, or the people that are on disability, because those checks don't pay for anything. And unless the person on Social Security is old enough to have worked in the era where we actually still had pensions, your your retirement's not guaranteed, because your 403b's and your 401ks are investments. Hey, CNC Nitro, welcome in. Uh, your retirements now are investment based. So if the stock market goes down, so does your money. Stock market goes up, yeah, your money goes up, but usually when it goes down, it goes way down. And people depending on that to pay their bills, and pay for what they need to live. It's not guaranteed they're going to have it. And then don't even get me started on what it costs if you're on any kind of medications. Uh, with the current state of health insurance in this country, and the fact that even with insurance, I go to pick up my prescriptions at the pharmacy. It's even with insurance, it's $400 to $500. Exactly, stack that gold. It's that's what I'm saying. It's definitely it's frustrating for everybody. Uh, yeah, and Silver Stallion, you're exactly right. There's actually some politicians that are trying to push to make the retirement age 70 instead of whatever it is now. It used to be 62, then it went up to 65, then it went up to 67. Now they're trying to push it to 70, and I don't see where that's a good idea. But and somebody made the statement on a radio show here locally that, well, yeah, they're doing that because they threw out a number there, said, oh, the average life expectancy is 75. Well, if they make you work till 70, you they don't have to pay you all the money you paid in. And it's sad because we that never used to be a problem. So I try to keep it wrapped around stacking on a budget, and like I said, every once in a while I'll get wild. Cranky Stacker in the house. Cranky, I'm glad you're here, because you know what, buddy? I got something else for you. Those of you that may not have seen it. I did a video last week where I figured I'd try to get Cranky to laugh, and I came up with some, or at least smile, and I succeeded. And what it was I busted out some memorabilia from a early 70s TV show that a lot of people became paramedics and firefighters because of this show. And I got a grin out of him. Well, now, Cranky, I gotta ask you. This is coming from my side of the public safety fence. I know you were on that side. I'm on this side. And now, Cranky, I gotta ask you, buddy. You remember these guys? These were the guys that made me want to grow up to be the police. And but yeah, I figured I'd throw this one in there for Cranky, because I know he cracked up when I brought up yes. Yeah, and then season 5 ended, and the show got ruined when they got rid of almost the entire original cast, to keep Eric Estrada happy. But not just yes, still one of my favorite shows. I still watch it in reruns on one of our TV stations here. And yeah, this is from 7 years ago, but there you go, Cranky. There's a patch to go with it. I'd pull out the regular one, but right? Well, Larry Wilson was good. Eric was full of himself, and he let the world know it. And then when Larry left the show and Eric got control of it, they got rid of almost the entire original cast, brought on an ex Dallas Cowboys cheerleader and a guy who most of the time was on coke, and pretty much that sixth season was the last. Here you go, Cranky. Here's one more for you. And for those of you who don't know, I collect challenge coins from different departments. And yes, Estrada definitely ruined it. I collect challenge coins. This was actually given to me by a gentleman who worked for the California Highway Patrol at the time. This is Chipper. That's their mascot. For their recruiting division. But yeah, I figured, Cranky, I'd throw one at you from the law enforcement side. So, but yeah, we had good TV back then. Yeah, not so much now. Everything's either reality shows, which I'm not into, or just too Hollywood for its own good. So yeah, it's got some stuff. Is getting back to the precious metals and stuff. I've got some stuff coming here in the next few days, so I'm excited to show that to you. And oh hey, you got it, Cranky. I'm all about it. It's if I can make somebody smile for 5 seconds, I've done my job for the day. Yeah, that's how I always tell people at work because they can't figure out why. Miami Vice was cool. And I mean I didn't understand it until I was a father. Why my mom used to cringe at some of the shows I used to watch on TV. Yeah, there was a lot of violence in Miami Vice. It was a cool show. It set fashion trends back there in the '80s. Guys were wearing pastel colors and white cotton suits and dress shoes with no socks and all that stuff. And everybody wanted a Testarossa. And they wanted to be Sonny Crockett. But yeah, it's and then hey, while we're talking about TV, I will still say this, and yes, I know I'm old. As far as law enforcement procedurals is the term they use now. I gotta give it to Hill Street Blues was the first one, and then NYPD Blue came along. And then I would have to say, because this was one of my all-time favorites, Hunter. Those were the good cop shows coming up through the '80s and '90s. That it wasn't like Chips where one or the other was getting the girl in every episode, and every time a car crashed it blew up, and all kinds of silliness. And I'll say there's the one that I'd still, yeah, you know what, if they were still showing it, see, I don't have cable, I'm sure they're showing it somewhere on some Sledgehammer was hilarious. Nowadays they take him and lock him up in a psych unit somewhere, but it was funny back then. The one I hate to see to come to an end now is Blue Bloods. Really cool show. It's got some typical cop show stuff in it, but it's got some typical cop show stuff in it, but it gives you like more of like the law enforcement family, the generations of law enforcement, and I kind of I'm not a real big I used to be a really big fan of the Chicago's until it turned into who's doing what with who, trying to keep it G-rated. Uh, and when Dick Wolf decided to go and put his personal political beliefs into Chicago PD, and I kind of ruined it. But uh, yeah, the modern stuff is not. You know, the modern stuff is nowhere near what the old stuff used to be. And you know, I don't know. Cranky might remember this. When Emergency went off the air, NBC replaced it with Chips. Well, then ABC decided they were going to try to steal the Emergency fans away from NBC, and they came up with a show called Code Red that was just no. I can't even put it into words. It was a fire department show. It was the LA City Fire Department instead of the county fire department. The only good thing about that show was Lauren Green, which is a name probably some people haven't heard in years and years and years. Uh, but yeah, so the stuff I got coming in this week, and I said before, I'm tiptoeing back to the beginning. The stacking on a budget, stacking what you can afford. And there's a lot of cool stuff going on. With the different mints, and Scottsdale reeled me in on those doggone state flags, and some other stuff. But it seems like there's an extra premium on it because one, it's Scottsdale, two, it's colorized, and three, people are willing to pay the prices for it. I actually won a Scottsdale bar in a giveaway on Whatnot the other night. So, yep, TV show I'd never ever miss. You know what? Send to Georgia. Yes, the original MacGyver. Loved that show. When they did the reboot, a few years ago on CBS, couldn't get into it. But yeah, the old one, the original, heck yeah, I'm all about it. Anybody that can stop, acid from coming through a plaster wall with a Hershey bar, it's got my vote. That's the one I remember. Or he makes a dude. I mean, Phoenix Coins. Hey, dude, you made it. Yeah. So the MacGyver could take a Bic ink pen and turn it into a dart gun. Can't even find anything about the real American. True. Yeah. You mean the greatest American hero? Yes, and his best Swiss knife and all that. Yeah, exactly. I swear to God, I think that Swiss Army knife he had about 350 components on it. He had a tool for everything. Give him a pack of juicy fruit and a Swiss Army knife, and he'll save the world. And then when I was a kid, we our one of our things was the battle about uh, yeah. Um, yeah, I haven't seen anything. I didn't see anything on it. I haven't seen anything like remakes or anything of that. I mean, they've remade Batman and Robin. They've remade Superman. They've, remade all this stuff, and they haven't remade that. I thought it was kind of a cool show. Um, but yeah, it's you know, TV's not what it used to be. Entertainment's not what it used to be. And now they're talking that eventually everything's going to be put on streaming, and the only thing you're going to be able to see on an actual TV is the news. Now they're remaking Matlock. Does anybody think we'll see $35 silver soon? Sorry guys, I'm reading. And how does that affect pricing vintage for selling? You know what, Cranky? Let me answer that real quick. I have a very true feeling that it is going to go up again, especially as we get closer to election day. Um, I'm fortunate, and I've mentioned this. Liberty Bleeds, and I've talked about it a couple times. That I'm fortunate that the two, well, actually all three LCSs I go to. The one I haven't been to in a while, but the three LCSs I go to don't put extra premiums on vintage. So if, say, you know, I don't know, this American flag over here, or here, we'll do the thin blue line because that's newer. That thin blue line flag bar is, you know, I don't know, let's throw a number out there, $30 out the door. You know, God, I wish it would go back down for a minute. And then right next to it is an old serialized Engelhard bar. Hey, Silent Silver. That Engelhard bar and that flag bar are the same price. So hopefully, you know, people aren't encountering that. But, you know, so yeah, hopefully it doesn't affect that too much. Yeah, I look for it and find it when I can. I'm not, you know, I'm not too worried about it because, like I said, the three I go to are really good about everything being priced the same. So, and let's see here, Rockford Fellows was cool. Oh goodness. But yeah, we're gonna take a look at some older stuff and older stuff and some cool stuff that I got coming over the next few days. I may take a few days off from posting videos. Don't worry, nothing's wrong. Just a lot, like it's a lot going on at work, and yeah, I may pop in and comment on videos, you know, in between, you know, things going on. But I may take a few days or a couple, you know, a day off here or there in the next couple of weeks, just to, you know, take care of what's got to be taken care of, and you know, I just want to keep everybody updated on what's going on. Yeah, we've got a couple of channels here in the States. I don't know how many of you. Well, it's all over the. Well, in my house, it's all over the air TV. I don't have cable. I don't have satellite. I can't justify the cost of it when I'm not here enough. And when I am here, I'm sleeping because I work midnight shift. So I can't justify having cable or satellite. It's the cost doesn't, you know. But we've got Get TV. We've got a network called Charge. This shows a lot of the older stuff, like man, I'm gonna age myself here. The Rockford Files, Kojak, McMillan and Wife, McLeod, Kojak, Who Loves You, Baby. Then we've got Charge, which used to show a lot of older stuff, and they've come up a little more modern. You know, they show Chips, but then you get 9 hours of the various CSIs, and then there's another network that shows. I know this is gonna make Cranky's eye twitch. Emergency, Little House on the Prairie, a lot of the older stuff. That's on Cozy TV. Then you got Me TV, which shows stuff like MASH, and yeah, Stack That Gold. You aren't kidding. Yeah, that was. I'll watch 1,000 episodes of Quincy before I watch more than about 4 or 5 episodes of CSI anything. And Jack Klugman was he did a phenomenal job in that role, you know. But oh yeah, I got Cranky's eye twitching. Oh, come on. You know, all the guys just watched Emergency for Dixie. So, but, so let's see here. Oh, if you guys didn't see the video this morning, I did the dragon challenge. I one of the ones I really miss is the Fall Guy. I'm not a Chevy guy, but he had a pretty nice square body. Oh yeah, yeah. Fall Guy was pretty good too. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about or say earlier. When I was a kid, we always used to argue over if they went nose to nose in the air, who would win the fight, Blue Thunder or Airwolf? Oh, send to Georgie. Let's talk about that for a second. TJ Hooker. This is just my opinion. And I mean, when it was on, I mean, when it premiered, I was 9. Okay. Yes, definitely Airwolf. That's what I always said, and people told me I was wrong. But it is what it is. That was a long time ago. I never missed an episode of TJ Hooker when I was a kid. Now, fast forward to I'm an adult. I have a child, and when he got to the age where he could, my ex-wife could take him to the store and he let him pick out what daddy was getting for Father's Day. One day they were walking down the aisle where all the DVDs were, and I got the entire series on DVD. I'm like, oh, wow, this is cool. So I open it up and I start watching them, and, being somebody that was in law enforcement for 20 plus years, oh, I can't watch it anymore because I pick out everything that's wrong with it. And yeah, I know it's Hollywood, but, certain things, and, we all joke about Bill Shatner overacting, and it's not a joke, he really does. Because even back in the early 80s, some of the stuff that he used to do on that show would have gotten you sent to internal affairs and not probably brought up on charges. Magnum PI would have smoked them in his chopper. Okay, yeah, hey, yeah, you never know. Stranger things that happen. But yeah, I was. Hey, I needed a good laugh. That was a good one. That was a good one. Um, but no, I every once in a while I'll pull an episode up and watch it on YouTube or yeah, Kojak. Who loves you? Who loves you, baby? Yeah, Shatner likes to steal the screen. He does, and I hate to say this for any Shatner fans. In my time in law enforcement, I encountered him a few times in real life, and actually at it wasn't Comic-Con, but it was something similar to, I encountered him there because I was, going to get him to autograph my picture of the cast of TJ Hooker, which, by the way, I don't even know where the heck that one is, but he refused to sign my picture because I didn't buy it there. 8 by 10, 8-inch by 10-inch, your typical 8 by 10 picture. They were selling everything was Captain Kirk, and an 8 by 10 picture with nothing on it, just the picture, was $75. And times that I encountered him outside of there, he's a jerk. He really is. Maybe now that he's, in his 90s, maybe he's lightened up, I would hope. But the guy you see on TV when he does interviews or commercials or whatever, that's not him. It's an act. But like I said, I don't mean to speak ill of the elderly, but yeah, he's a jerk. Now, I think somebody said something about the movies and TV here. Let me see. Yeah, watching movies about truck drivers, I see all the BS and things. Yeah, transient, exactly. Yeah, we shouldn't be going to see movies about things we do for a living. I will say this though, as a retired law enforcement officer, and I mean this movie messed with me, messed with my head. End of Watch. That movie, in so many ways, was almost too real, because the two main actors actually rode with LAPD hands on for almost a year before they did the movie. And yeah, there was too much stuff that was too close to the real thing in that movie. But yeah, most of the time it's, yeah, and I'll go back to, well, even Chips, TJ Hooker, all that. How can you bail out on a foot pursuit and you're running after this person or people? You don't have what we call a prep radio, the radio on your hip. You don't have a radio. How are you letting your partner know where you're at? But your partner can always find you. It's like, or, TJ Hooker, he bails out of the car and tells his partner, call for backup. Boom, he takes off running. Oh, where do I send the backup? Because I don't know where you are because you don't have a radio. It's stuff like that. Or Ponch and John jumping off the motorcycles and chasing somebody, and they're going two different directions, chasing two different people, but they always find each other without having to say, "Hey, this is where I'm at." Little things like that. Or I was just watching an episode of TJ Hooker the other day, and he's doing some weird stuff with his baton. Yeah, you can do that, but what I want to see what training manual that spin it around and play tough guy with it came from. But no, it's But yeah, I like having some fun every once in a while. Cranky, I hope you don't think I'm putting your business out there, buddy. Cranky's had a rough few weeks, dealing with a lot, and my goal is to make him giggle, at least giggle, once a day or once every couple of days. So if you see me put random TV stuff up here, I'm trying to get a rise out of Cranky. So, now that you mention it, yeah, TJ Hooker was kind of over the top. Yeah, it was. I had a teacher at my school who was in that movie. He was pro arm wrestling. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cranky, we're thinking about you, buddy. I know you guys got a lot going on, and you know what? Here, I don't have any pictures for this one, but I'm gonna throw another one out there for you, Cranky. I know it's another cop show, but remember that? I say this is another one of the best cop shows that was ever on TV, and nothing against Carl Weathers, or as some of you may know him, Apollo Creed. Yes, Apollo Creed from the Rocky movies. Carl Weathers came on this show, and it was done. Carl Weathers was like a jinx for some of these TV shows. But yeah, that was the patch from the original. Yes, In the Heat of the Night. And then the new chief, Carl Weathers, came in, and they ended up with these things. These god-awful patch. What I'm trying to figure out what the one stands for an officer, because they made it where you didn't wear rank. Your rank was on your shoulder patch. So I'm not sure what the one was. And then corporal. Doesn't say police on it, just says corporal. Well, actually, the officer doesn't say police either. Sergeant, lieutenant, captain. And this one really cracks me up. This one really cracks me up because he never wore a uniform. Gillespie wore a uniform, but Forbes never wore a uniform. So I don't know where that one came from. So, but yeah, just having fun with a little TV stuff there. But But yeah, like I said, I hope everybody's doing great. I mean, kids are back in school. Summer's all but over. We're getting normally it's cooling down around here. Oh, Cranky, you have no idea, buddy. One of these days, I'm going to pull every patch out that I have. I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to email them to you. I've got patches from all over the country and Canada. So, but yeah. Thanks, Senator Georgie. That's one of the hobbies that law enforcement officers, at least here in the States and some in Canada, that's one of our cheap hobbies, because all you got to do is hand them one of your patches and you get one of theirs in return. I do have and it's still work. It's always a work in progress, but it's doing like the stuff from the TV shows, and the TV shows I watched growing up, the TV shows I watched through my teenage years into my early 20s, and the thing that was really special about In the Heat of the Night, I got one here for you somewhere. I know you won't have it. Cool. Cranky, you know what? You've got a package coming. It's a small one. It's one of those little black envelopes like this, but there's something extra in there for you. And I will just say this. Yes, they actually wear those out there too. It wasn't just a TV thing. But Stack That Gold, you beat me to it. The very special thing about In the Heat of the Night is, for my friends overseas, you may have never seen the show All in the Family. Carol O'Connor, the gentleman that played Chief Gillespie, sent me spurs. No, I didn't send you spurs. Carol O'Connor, the gentleman that played Chief Gillespie on In the Heat of the Night, played the character Archie Bunker. And Archie was a very narrow-minded, bigoted individual. If you weren't white Catholic, he didn't like you. He didn't, or even if you were white, but you weren't whatever nationality he was, he didn't like you. He'd always have something smart to say, and just treated everybody like crap. Treated his wife like she was lesser person than him because, she's female. And, just, was a total jerk to everybody, unless they were, in his little circle. And a lot of people thought that Carol O'Connor was Archie Bunker. And he actually came out and did a public service announcement that, yeah, I play a character on TV. That doesn't make it right. Don't do it. Don't be Archie Bunker. And a lot of people that went right over their heads and kept going. They didn't get it. And then, yeah, well, Archie in his chair. Don't get out of my chair. He was something else. But then In the Heat of the Night came out, and they're like, oh man, what's this gonna be? And Chief Gillespie is the polar opposite of Archie Bunker. Okay. And this town of Sparta, Mississippi, and anybody that has followed any kind of American history knows how Mississippi used to be, and some towns still can be. And here's Carol O'Connor playing a character that wouldn't tolerate it. Wouldn't tolerate it. And the town went crazy because he brought in this guy he wanted to have a detective. And he brought in this detective, and he was black, and the town lost their minds. Okay. And he stood his ground. And that's when people finally realized, okay, Carol O'Connor's not that guy. Now, on the flip side of that, you had All in the Family. Then you had a spinoff of All in the Family that was called The Jeffersons. And yes, Exactly. Yes. It was a movie back in the day, and Sidney Poitier played Virgil Tibbs, the detective. Um, you had this show, The Jeffersons, which on All in the Family, the Jeffersons were the Bunker's next door neighbors, and George Jefferson and Archie Bunker were constantly going back and forth, and you know, the H word and the N word and all this other stuff, and none of it's funny, but back then it was to an extent not acceptable, but it was comedy. Everybody knew it. Sherman Hemsley, the guy that played George Jefferson, was essentially the African American Archie Bunker. He hated everybody white. But again, but hey, Chuck Stacker, welcome. We're we're talking TV at the moment, like old school TV. But you had these shows that were on, and sadly back then people thought TV was real life. And Sherman Hemsley finally redeemed himself on another comedy in the late 80s, early 90s called Amen, where he was the deacon at his church, a deacon at his church. But yeah, there was some good stuff out there. I mean, that wouldn't last 5 minutes on TV nowadays. All right, Stack That Gold. Thanks for popping in, my friend. We'll see you soon. Yeah, it checks that. Yeah, exactly. Uh, we, I pulled out some TV stuff to mess with Cranky, and was pulled up a picture and was like, "Hey, you remember these guys?" And we were talking about a couple of different TV shows, but yeah, it's it was what it was back then, and the things that went on, it's not not acceptable by any means today. And it, but they've gone too far the other way now, where it's you have it, and it doesn't happen like. And I'll give you the prime example of the Chicago's, uh, Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD. They don't do it when they originally air, but there's also a network on over-the-air TV called Ion that literally they should change it to the Cop Show network, because it's I think Monday, all day Monday is one. Yeah, way back when TV was free. Yeah, exactly. The one day I can't remember what's on Monday. I think it's like Criminal Minds is on Monday all day. Then Tuesday, Chicago Fire. Wednesdays, Blue Bloods. Thursday, Chicago PD. Friday is a mix of Hawaii 5-0 and something else. Saturdays, Law and Order SVU. And Sunday is NCIS. But they've gone so far the other direction that, okay, here's a police show. The police are clearing a building. They have their pew-pews out, and they're clearing a building like police officers are trained to do. Ion blurs this out. Or, I can't remember what the other thing was. They blur a lot of stuff out, and common words nowadays they bleep out. Like the word hell or damn. They beep it out. That's we back in 1979. But like I said, I'm continuing to get back to the basics with the stack and silver, and I did a short for excuse me. I did a short last night for Pirate Stacker, because he's big on the copper, and like I've said before, if I'm stacking copper, let me see, I think I put it away. Oh no, here we go. Oh no, that's not the whole thing. If I'm stacking copper, it's copper pennies, because as far as I know, it's still The copper value of a copper penny is 3 cents. Face value is 1 cent. So, and you don't have to stack the weight that you would with copper rounds, copper bars, whatever. But yeah, collectibles, yeah. I know you guys have seen. I've got a really cool paperweight and a really cool door stopper made out of copper. But no, we're gonna get back to the basics. I was hoping to and hoping to let me move this guy out of the way. Pretty sure I did check. Still haven't gone through my mail. Oh, sorry guys. I'm sitting here reading it like, yeah, you guys are talking to each other. That's cool with me. I thought I was gonna have something cool to show you guys today because I got some quarter rolls, and usually, my here. Let me move some stuff around here. Usually, I find, because I've shown you before, I do the the steak quarters, the yeah, that's exactly the way I do it. Silver Sleuth, Adam 12, Dragnet, Mannix. Yeah, pretty much. A lot of good ones, and a lot of these over the air. Didn't realize until sent to Georgie. Yes, works for me. Yeah, I love Hunter. I've got the entire series on DVD. Every once in a while, I want to hear Hunter come up with one of his one-liners or quick ones that he used to, say to people, get them thinking. Thought I was, I do the, Chuck, I did too. I didn't want burgundy though, because back then, to me, where I grew up, burgundy was an old people color, so I didn't want burgundy. I wanted either a black one or a I can't remember what they called the shade of blue. It was like a deep blue. It was like halfway between royal blue and navy blue. It was really cool blue that had like the glitter in the paint job. And oh man, I wanted one of those too. I kind of hurt my feelings when they took the Daytona away from her and gave her a Dodge Dynasty. Basically a glorified K car. I do the state quarters, the National Park or America the Beautiful quarters. There you go. Yeah, pretty much. Sonic Blue. I've started the American Women quarters, and I've got certain years that I keep. As it's life's great events happen in those years. So I went to the bank on Friday. It's like, hey, and the teller knows I'm a coin collector. He's a coin collector too. And check. Yes. I had my very first car that I bought with my own money. Well, actually, it was my second car I bought with my own money. Was one of those, and you couldn't kill it, and you'd scare the heck out of everybody when those twin the twin four barrels would kick in under the hood, and all you heard was a hissing when it went down the street. So I go into my bank. I walk up to this gentleman, and I say, "Hey, and we know each other by name." I say, "Hey, man, I can I get 5 rolls of quarters?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." He pulls these quarters out, and I've had luck in the past with bankrolled quarters, and like, okay, this should be no different. And I got home, and I'm looking at them, and they were bankrolled. These are where I re-rolled them, taking them back in the morning. They got an end like this on both ends, and they're crimped and pressed together and all that. I didn't really realize it where I really took a look at it when I got home. He gave me 5 brand new uncirculated rolls of the same dang quarter. There was out of $5 worth of quarters, so 200 quarters, there was only one, and I don't know how it got in there, that wasn't the rest. So that was a kind of a term the professional roll hunters call skunked. So those are going back. And see, this is something else you can do if you're looking, because looking for silver. But I would highly recommend asking for customer rolled quarters when you go into the bank, because if you have an area like where my bank's at, you have a lot of older people, and as they pass away, the kids of the grandkids get the coin collections, or what they think is just a coin collection, and they'll just roll them up and take them back to the bank. Hey, I just want the money for them. Even when you have tellers like a friend of mine that will tell you, no, this is worth a lot more than my. Nah, I don't care. I just want the money for it. Well, these rolls go in their coin vault, and you come in and say, I need a couple rolls of quarters. You get that roll of quarters. You could get nothing. You could hit the jackpot. Not silver, but the one time I went in there and I didn't realize that you have to order half dollars by the box and like 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time in order to get them. So I was like, hey, you guys got any half dollars? No. Well, that same teller, he's waiting on me. He goes, oh, wait a minute. He goes, I got a roll of dollar coins. You want them? I said, all right, what the heck? No, yeah, okay, whatever. So I bring that roll of dollars home with my quarters and my dimes that I picked up. And I bust it open, and yeah, it's not silver, but, unique. In that $25 roll of dollars was 6 Susan B. Anthony's, which I hadn't seen those in years. I'm like, hey, to me, that's a win. But, it's something, if you're, looking for something to do. And yeah, okay, you go and you get a roll of quarters. Yeah, they take $10 out of your account, hand you your roll. You come home, you don't find anything, roll it back up, take it back, deposit it back in your account. You didn't lose anything. Didn't lose 1 red cent. So, but it's something to do for fun. I know every once in a while my son comes down, we'll get a bunch of rolls and go through them, and the anticipation of the hunt. I've never found silver. I found a buffalo nickel once in a roll of nickels. Found tons of copper pennies in the penny rolls. Did a pretty good job on my my quarters that I collect. And he's got certain ones that he likes. He's actually got 5 quarters for the year he was born, because they were doing the States back then. Oh, excuse me. But it's something to do. You can have fun with it. I can teach the kids, a little bit about history through some of the quarters and that, and eventually people will be fighting for the quarters that we toss off to the side. Like bicentennials. I've watched people do quarter roll hunts, and it's just a bicentennial, and they toss it aside. Dude, send that my way. I'll put it in mine. I love bicentennial quarters. So, but, well, next few days we should have some pretty cool stuff popping up on the channel, and I'm gonna wrap it up for now. Been on for just about an hour. Gonna go eat some dinner and get ready for my silver journey and Tuli tonight. I believe, if I'm not wrong, they're starting somewhere around 8 p.m. at Cranky EST. 7 o'clock Cranky Standard Time. No, I think somewhere around 8 o'clock. If my silver journey is still in here and is able to, he could probably correct me. I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern or somewhere around there. Check out their live. 2 awesome people, great members of the community, always, looking out for the rest of us. I still joke around. I still say, there's only 24 hours in a day, and I don't know how Tuli does it, because she does 48 hours of work in a 24-hour period, helping everybody out with their channels and, moderating on for tea on whatnot, and then running her own channel. And she was, I don't know if they've gone back yet or not. She was fostering pregnant mama dog and her puppies. But yeah, it's always fun popping in there and chatting with my Silver Journey and Tuli Tuli. So I think they're on around 8 o'clock tonight. Everybody, have a great rest of your Sunday. I'm gonna go eat some dinner and see how bad the Lions are losing because they were not having a good day last time I looked at the TV set. All right, everybody, love you guys. Have a great rest of your night. Have a safe week. We'll see you soon. Michi's out of here.